What's up, guys? Welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and welcome back to another versus video and slash story time, I guess. But today I just want to do probably just a versus video. So let's talk about this video. It's going to be on Dimensions and Entropy, tier 19 or floor 19, whatever you want to call it. But before we do start, like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help the channel, and I really would appreciate it if you do. Now, without further ado, let's start this video. Alright guys, so we'll start this video off with the team that I went with, which is going to be Firion, and we got Reno, and we've got Mr. T here, or whatever you want to call him. So basically, this particular fight, I honestly felt like a tank would have worked better, but I honestly don't have one right now. I think 9 is my only tank, if I remember correctly, and I don't have him maxed out, so I just ended up just trying to heal through it and just delaying as much as I can. But if you have Warrior of Light or something along those lines, definitely going to be very, very helpful in this particular fight. There's quite a bit of HP attack here. The first wave, you know, they both have recast abilities, and so you know when to actually protect yourselves. But overall, it shouldn't be an issue. I ended up just going with Reno and using Reno's pyramid to, you know, basically block off the attack. I did need to save it because you can only use it like 4 times, and you know, Firion's heal was quite enough to heal through most of the HP damage if I do end up taking one. So yeah, other than that, the first wave itself shouldn't be an issue. Mr. T is here just to do as much damage as he can, delay at certain times as well with his LD ability. Now, as for the second wave, it's a mix of trash mobs, but do be careful. With this one, they have a ton of health for trash mobs, which I found out later, and I actually end up dying in this wave in one of my attempts. So yeah, just be careful, but they are trash mobs, so you can do as much HP attack plus or whatever you want to do. But I do recommend just using your abilities, because honestly speaking, at this point in time, we really have quite enough damage overall in order for you not to just use HP attacks. Sure, you can use them if you're really you really want to save some of your abilities, but for the most part, you know, even if you use a ton of abilities in the earlier waves, the game is balanced enough now that you don't have to rely on those HP attack plus so much as we used to. So I'll leave it to you guys, whatever you want to do with the trash mobs. The third wave, though, is the castle boss. Now with this one, you kind of know that it will do some sort of big attack, because it will let you know that, you know, it's gained strength or something like that. When it becomes nimble, that means it will attack twice in one turn, and it does this like twice. So the first time around shouldn't be an issue, but the second time around becomes nimble. It does usually follow up with an HP attack, so do be careful with that one. I did have to plan out my pyramids on those particular instances, so if you do have a tank, once again, it does help if you have shields and stuff like that, and if you can provoke it, then all the better, right? You can also use your summon here if you feel like you're being threatened, but try to do it as late as possible, because in the next wave where we fight these Ocho Ocho kind of boss, I'm not really sure what they're called, if you remember them from Bosch's event in Lost Chapter, the actual boss will use flash something, and it will basically lower your maximum health. So if you summon at the end of that phase, you can technically avoid getting that. I can't remember the exact ability, but you can delay the boss enough that you don't actually lose your maximum HP. At the same time though, in one of my attempts, I actually got first turn. It didn't get a first turn ability usage for that, which is kind of weird, but usually the case, as far as I know. I mean, in Bosch's one, he always or it always had the first turn and will use that ability straight away to lower your maximum health. So in the end, I just ended up using my summon towards the end of the phase wave 3, and just to be sure I don't actually get hit. Now the biggest thing here is to actually be careful of its, if you can't delay it to as far as you can, right? Just be careful about Brave Battery on this one, because if it has all attack, it will absorb a ton of your Brave and basically hit you back with it, and you end up getting one shot, right? So just be careful with that. You make sure you dump all your HP attacks and whatnot, and try not to use as much Brave Battery for everyone, at least on your last character before the boss actually attacks. So just be careful with those all attacks, and you should be particularly fine on this one. I didn't really have much trouble with this particular Dimensions End, and I think it's gotten to the point where we're not having too much issues with Dimensions End now, because chaos difficulty is starting to dwindle off in terms of overall difficulty, especially if you are bringing characters with LD weapons and stuff like that. So that's why I said earlier, just use your abilities. So because chances are you are using characters that actually have LD abilities as well, and they tend to really help save some of your ability 1 and ability 2. So overall, the fight itself wasn't too difficult even without a tank, but I do highly recommend bringing one because it does really help. Alright guys, so I think I will end the video right here. There's really no story time this time around because I'm basically doing every video that I release on this almost on the same day and the next day basically. So there's really nothing in between that's been happening with me between the videos that I've been releasing. I'm just been grinding the Japanese version as much as I can at the moment because I have run out of resources again. Trying to get Kieran's EX weapon, because I've gotten so much LD weapons, but for some reason Kieran's EX weapon is not dropping for me, and I've used a ton of resources to try and get it just so I have another character that I can use on Dimensions End. Believe it or not, I am on tier 19 as well in the JP version, or floor 19 in the JP version. So I'm actually almost caught up with everything in terms of content. I guess the biggest thing I have left to do is basically summon boards for the rest of the characters that I don't use, plus the new divine summons. But that's basically it. So I guess that's the story time, right? Just me grinding, telling you guys that I'm grinding. But anyway, like I said, I'll end the video right here. Please do remember to click like and subscribe once again if you haven't already, because it does help the channel, and I would really appreciate it if you do want this channel to keep on growing, and hopefully you guys can help me with that. If you have any questions, you can follow me on Twitter or on Facebook at Monchkinz Gaming. Directly DM me there. Leave down in the comments below, of course, what your team is for this particular Dimensions End, and let me know what your strategy was. This is Monchkinz logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.